Hey guys, this is Pastor Autry. Thank you for joining us for another Bible Brief. We're here every Wednesday. If you can join us via Zoom, the information's on the screen. If not, don't worry. We're going to post it right here on YouTube. Give us that like, give us that share. Let us know how we're doing. We want you to be enriched. Well, let's join today's brief in progress. God bless you.
Good morning, brothers. My name is Reverend Doug Smiley, for those of you who don't know me, and I'll be your host for today. I would like to welcome you and thank you all for attending Christ Community's Bible Brief, Men's Bible Briefs. Just a few housekeeping notes and things before we get started. The Bible Brief is going to last about 30 minutes, give or take. If you have to leave early, that's no problem. If you want to let us know, just hit us up in the chat. So just type in the chat anything, and I'll try to keep an eye on that so we can inform the group. I need everyone to know that this is a safe environment, right? We can talk about whatever we need to talk about. We can put it out on the line and understand that it doesn't leave this line. We don't judge, we don't crosstalk, and we don't record, right? The speakers portion of the brief, when we do record the speakers portion of the brief only, and we post that on the Christ Community YouTube page. After our speaker has delivered the Bible brief, everyone will have the opportunity to make comments. So we'll wait for the speaker to go, then we can comment and ask questions. If you have a question or comment, just raise your hand. So there's a little icon, if you're not familiar, on the Zoom feature that allows you to raise a hand, and we can see that and address you accordingly. We ask that you limit your comments to about 2 or 3 minutes, just to make sure we can get everyone's comment, and mute yourself at this time to maintain a level of respect. So it looks like everybody's mic is muted that way. And then when it's time for you to speak, make sure you unmute it. And that's just Zoom etiquette, right? Also, if you want to share the links, books, resources, or extend comments to brothers, please utilize the chat. So if you have any books that you want to reference, any links to any sites or articles that may be helpful to the topic of conversation, use that. And so we got a special guest today, and so before our speaker comes to us, I'm going to turn it over to Pastor Autry and let Pastor Autry introduce our speaker to the group.
Thank you, Doug. Appreciate that, man. Want y'all to pray for Nathan Hartfield. He has a pretty bad bug and just not doing too well. He's not hospitalized or anything like that, but just got a real bad bug and really can't talk. So just pray for the brother. He really can't talk on the phone. He don't hardly have no voice or what have you, but please remember him in your prayers. And so he was supposed to present today and just couldn't present. And he did a phenomenal job 2 weeks ago. And I think he wanted to follow that up. So we're going to follow up that talk as well. But I invited one of my prayer partners I pray with every Sunday. He's actually been at our church a number of times and has spoken to us. And some of y'all may remember him. Pastor Jeremy Upton. He's out of Miami, pastors a City of Refuge church, and has a heart for men. And so I just thought it'd be another opportunity to bring one of my friends in just to share with us for a few minutes. And so if you guys would, please welcome Pastor Jeremy Upton at this time. Come on, Jeremy.
Well, good morning, brothers. I am humbled and honored to be amongst such an august group of individuals and brothers this early in the morning. Just got a interesting thing, when Pastor Autry asks you to do anything, of course you say yes, because he's such an amazing individual, and the brain, and reads more books than TV shows than I watch. So, but the idea of what to say to brothers who are already doing it, already making things happen, already moving and shaking. And what came to mind, what the Spirit brought to my mind, is that parable in Matthew 13. Jesus is going through all of these parables of the kingdom. The kingdom of heaven is like, the kingdom of heaven is like. And he gets to one that we call the parable of the wheat and tares. And he says that a man goes out. He's obviously a businessman. He's a farmer. He's obviously a big time farmer because he has people working for him. And the Bible says that he went and sowed his field with wheat. And the Bible says, while men slept, the enemy came and sowed tares. And so my vitamin for this morning, my word of caution for us is we as brothers, we got to be careful. Even in the moments where we have earned our leisure, we have to be careful, because it's in those moments that while we're preoccupied, while we're distracted, while we're resting, that's when the enemy can sneak in and sow seeds into our relationships, into our families, into our employees, into our minds. You know, while we were just watching the Super Bowl, maybe Mary J. Blige's thighs threw somebody off. We don't know when things can happen, but the Bible says that while men weren't paying attention, that's when the enemy came in. So Peter says we've got to be sober and vigilant, because our enemy is like a roaring lion. We've got to be awake. We've got to be woke. We've got to be careful, because we don't know when the enemy is trying to do things. The Bible says in Proverbs 27 to know the state of your flocks. So throughout this week, or even today, as you're thinking through and as you're interacting with your employees or with your grandchildren or with your wife, just kind of be sober and vigilant, thinking through, watching and praying for discovering where those seeds that the enemy may have sown, seeds of discord or disruption. Because here's the interesting thing is, if you keep reading that parable, the employees ask, well, do you want us to dig the tares out from among the wheat? And the owner says, no, because you could do damage to the wheat. And they had to still, watch this, they had to still cultivate the tares at the same time. So be vigilant, stay awake, stay woke, as they say. Keep your eyes and your ears to what the Lord has to say, because it's when we think that we can take our rest, that's when the enemy can come in and he can sow seeds of discord. He can sow the seeds that will disrupt the blessings that God is seeking to bring about in our lives. My advice to us as brothers is stay tuned in, stay plugged in, even in your leisure. Watch what you're doing. Know the state of your flocks. Job had to say, even in the midst of him going through, that he had to make a covenant with his eyes not to look at certain things. So don't sleep. This is the time to stay woke. This is the time to stay vigilant. And don't allow the enemy to disrupt the great things that God is up to in your life. Thank you so much for allowing me to share.